Let's get back into it. Hello, it's been a minute. Rel's Rants Reloaded. I am D Rel. We are going to get right into it. We're starting over. This is the relaunch. 2024 is over, and 2025, people decided that they want Donald Trump to be president again. Do you like it? Do you not like it? These are my opinions on the situation. I could be right, I could be wrong. As they say about music, everything is subjectable. I think that the American people, well, I'm going to tell you this. Let's just get straight into it. Joe Biden dropped the ball. The Democrats dropped the ball. They set Kamala Harris into a situation where she was destined to fail. And it's that party's fault. Now, at the end of the day, Democrat, Republican, they're the same side of a different coin, or the same coin of a different side, whatever you want to call it. They have their agenda, and their agendas are not in the best benefit of the American people. They go in there with their own agenda and how they want to see the country ran, money distributed, power allocated. Donald Trump, number one, he shouldn't have been president in the first place. He wasn't a good president. No matter what all of these people say, and people going to say this, I think a lot of people, I think white people want their country back. And I feel that when Barack Obama became president, it was a slap in the face to white people. And like with anything, when black people in America that are descendants of slaves start a movement or get in a area where by definition of this country we weren't supposed to get into, it opens the floodgates. It's just like not affirmative action. It's just like with the civil rights movement. The civil rights movement pretty much opened up the floodgates for everybody else to get the benefit that we were fighting for and we were the victims of or against, meaning Jim Crow, meaning redlining and door busting or block busting when it comes to real estate, meaning voting, meaning being treated like human beings. That wasn't for the Hispanics. It wasn't for it was for Africans that were brought to America and were brought here for free labor to build this country. And when Donald Trump went for his first run, he's not going to be straight up and tell you how he wants America to be. Really meaning how he wants America to be. Make America great again. Make America white again. I say it's like black business. When black people have businesses, they start their businesses, they say black owned. You know how they say white owned in America? Made in America. It's a lot of subliminals. It's always subliminals. You got to read between the lines. So when things started getting cut out, affirmative action, Roe v. Wade, this stuff that's going on with Walmart with the gender stuff. And I don't even like none of the gender stuff. I think that's a big gimmick to get the masses away from the real prejudice of being black in America. And they'll say, oh, we victims or we just need to shut up and take it. No, we don't need to shut up and take it. And you have a lot of Negroes that are on some, if we can't beat them, join them. I feel white people want this country back. I feel white people are feeling like the American dream was made for them. And it was. The Constitution was made for them. And it was. And them not taking responsibility for their white privilege or taking advantage of their white privilege. I spoke to a guy today, not today, a couple of weeks ago, had this conversation. And you learn how to have conversations and agree to disagree and not make it personal, not get emotional because we're men. And I said, look, man, a lot of people would not know about immigration or Mexicans coming over here and this, that, and the third if that wasn't injected into the conversation. Nobody knew about MS-13. Nobody knew about all of this stuff. But I feel like when you get into politics, you can create a scenario that's already there and blow it out of proportion to make that the talking point of your campaign. At the end of the day, the beginning of America, slaves created, or slaves were the backbone of making this country free labor, profit. This country is nothing but business, trying to make a profit. Now, in order to make profit, they was getting free labor. You can't get free labor no more. Now you got to give people wages and this, that, and the third. And black people always wanted their fair share of freedom. And they wanted that piece of our American dream. And a lot of times, and I agree with this, we should have been segregated. We should have did our own thing and met somewhere at the middle with a bargaining tool. But instead, I feel black people always wanted to be assimilated into white society. You wanted to go to college. You wanted to compete for these jobs. We went away from farming, agriculture, creating our own businesses, this, that, and the third. We don't do that too much no more. Now we want to go to college, get debt, and compete with white people. Some white people. And this is not a dig at white people. It's pretty much what it is. You want to be on a level that they're on. I always say this. In the 80s, there were two forms of media that was given to two demographics of people. Black folks got Scarface. That was, I ain't gonna say it was given to us, but it was received as, oh, this is how we need to go and make money. We can't get our fair share, so we need to go be the hustlers, the drug dealers, this, that, and the third. You had the crack epidemic, AIDS, and all of that stuff. Also, for the white people, you had that movie, Wall Street. You go to school, you go to be a businessman, you go to put on a suit, you go to sell stocks and this, that, and the third. And that's how you get your little Wolf of Wall Streets and your boiler rooms. People gravitate to what they see and what they feel is something that resonates with them. Yeah, Scarface was about Cubans and the Cuban refugees coming over here, but you got to figure the same Cuban refugees came over here. Africans came over here. You see people in concentration camps and camps, all packed together in poverty and trying to get out, and dishwashers and cleaners and stuff like that. So I think black people, to a certain extent, resonated with that. We came to this country by force, and when we were emancipated, freed, we didn't get our 40 acres and a mule. And we wanted to go to the same schools as white people. White people didn't want us in these schools. We wanted to be in the same neighborhoods as white people. White people didn't want us in these neighborhoods. And I feel like with Donald Trump, a lot of black people want a taste of that freedom, that wealth, that image of being self-made. Even though we've had a lot of representations of that self-made image. But again, Donald Trump is nothing but a supermarketer from the 80s. I'm from New York. I've seen when all of that stuff started, like that Apprentice, not the TV show, the movie, all of that was being built. The Apprentice movie with the guy that plays Bucky from the Avengers. I grew up through all of that. Trump making these buildings and Trump Tower and Trump Plaza in New York. I seen all of that. Going through wives, Ivanka, what is it, Marla May, all of the, I seen, he was always in the news. He was that guy. And a lot of people, the celebrities, they say, yeah, we was cool. Yeah. You know what? It was cool to a point. When it's somebody who is a businessman, whether they do legit business, bad business, good business, when you in those inner circles with these people, you're like, yeah, they're cool to hang out with, but I don't feel comfortable with them running the country. like an adult film star, porn star. Yeah, I like woo 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 whoever, but I wouldn't want her running for office trying to run the country. But that's the beauty of this country. You get to be whoever you want to be to a certain extent, and the people will pick who they want as an elected official besides the president because we don't pick the president. The electoral college does. And that's another conversation for another time. But I feel white people wanted their country back. You had a lot of white poverty. And in order to get votes, you're not going to have somebody like Donald Trump, either Republican or Democrats, whoever is going to say, pull yourself up by your bootstraps like they would tell us. And now he's back. During the first 4 years Donald Trump was in office, there was no transfer of wealth. There was no big gold rush where we had a whole bunch of people, whether it was white, black, Hispanic, just becoming overnight millionaires, creating these big businesses, innovating. No, we was working. Then COVID hit. And I feel like Donald Trump killed himself when he went for reelection. He killed himself because he never made a move to stop COVID. And that dude would do anything to win. Because it was real funny because when he was losing in the polls, all of a sudden, he had COVID, tried to get the sympathy vote. But too many people died. White people, black people, brown people. All of the little funny monikers, the Kung Flu and Little Rocket, man, that shit is funny. But when people start dying and people start losing loved ones, people take that shit serious. Now, we had Joe Biden. I think we had Joe Biden 4 years too late. Joe Biden ain't shit either. His son's a crackhead. There's a whole bunch of money going to Ukraine and all of this stuff. Joe Biden, he got dementia. Everybody knows it. Nobody knows what the fuck he's talking about. And it was like when they had that debate, that was the nail in the coffin. It was like, yo, Trump didn't even have to work hard after that. So they tried to put Kamala Harris in. And she comes with her own bullshit. I already said this. And it's nothing against that community, the rainbow community. When she launched her campaign to run for president because they kicked Joe Biden out, the Democratic Party caucus or whatever, they kicked Joe Biden out. Her first TikToks were directed to the LGBTQ community. A black woman. Yeah, she's black. Parents are Indian, Jamaican. That's black. Might not be black American. That's black. She's an AKA. And I think she went after. I think she thought women would go to support her, and they did. Black men came out. Black women came out. The Latinos. See, what's funny about women? They like to prioritize gender first and their race second. So a lot of women voted for Kamala Harris. They wanted to see this first black female president, even though she was the first the first female president, first black female president, a 2-in-1. Because when Joe Biden went under surgery, she became the president. Now, what got away? Well, all those female votes, you didn't get those female votes that were white women that were married. It's a poll. It's known facts. Married people usually vote the same. Married people, in a married household, the wife is going to vote the same way the husband is. And there's a lot of white men that voted for Trump. And I don't think Kamala Harris. Well, I think Kamala Harris knew she couldn't get the rural areas, like the rural areas in Georgia and this, that, and the third. And it just collapsed. And they only gave her 3 months to run for president. No, everybody's seen the signs. This dude, Joe Biden, was incoherent. But back to Trump, now he's going to be in office for another 4 years. And that next 4 years, it's like, yo, he could literally do whatever the fuck he wants because he can't get reelected. So he could do whatever he wants. He's going to go after, it's going to be a revenge campaign. He's going to fuck shit up. But again, I say this to my white friends. This is what you wanted in office, right? I know why you wanted him in office. You're not going to say it directly. You got 4 years to get wealthy. Because I feel in my whole heart, white people feel like the American dream skipped them over. And ain't no opportunities for them. But to be honest with you, there's no opportunities for anybody out here in this country anymore. College degrees ain't even worth it anymore. Look, you got TikTok that's exposing that, and they're about to try to shut that down. But I don't think they're going to shut down TikTok. I think Donald Trump is going to save TikTok because TikTok helped that man get in office. All the fucking people I've seen on TikTok with those red hats, literally campaigning for Trump, people with thousands and thousands of followers. I told my shorty, I said, yo, look, man, politics is different now. It's not about knocking on doors like Jimmy Carter used to do back in the 70s. It's about social media. And when you got people that are running for office, running for president, and you pulling a Cardi B, a Beyonce, a Taylor Swift, a Megan Thee Stallion, to some extent, that can solidify one demographic of vote, black people and women. But then when you got people like Amber Rose, Candace Owens, Kid Rock, The Undertaker, all of these people, if you look at all of these people and their following on social media, that's a lot of votes. And I heard him say it. I think Van Jones said it. Social media is where the Democrats failed. Now, do I think Kamala Harris would have been a good president? No. I also think a lot of people never wanted a female president, period. That's just my opinion. I feel Kamala Harris would have been just as worst as Hillary Clinton. I feel Kamala Harris would have did nothing for the black people, just like Obama. He did nothing for black people. She would have did more for women and LGBTQ than for black folks. Now, with that being said, is Trump going to do anything for black people? Hell no. Trump is going to do everything he can for rich people. Elon Musk, people, billionaires. They are going to reap the benefits of this presidential next 4 years. They're going to try to we're already in that level of making America a permanent lower class. There's no innovation. There's no education. We're going to get taxed. It's not going to be worth it. What they say with his little tax plan, no taxes on overtime. They're going to try to make a whole bunch of people salaried employees. You can't even buy a house, and not being able to buy a house. That's not Trump's fault. That's not Biden's fault. That's their faults together. Because that happened under both of those administrations. BlackRock buying up everything. The banks are buying up all the daggone houses, and they're going to be the new landlords. We still fighting over minimum wage. Trump put people in positions of power to take away affirmative action. And white people say, oh, affirmative action is not right. Even Asian people said affirmative action is not right. You know why black people needed affirmative action? because we wasn't getting a level playing field. If they play, if we ain't have to go through all this Jim Crow South and segregation and racism, we wouldn't need affirmative action. Now that's gone. Now everybody gonna have to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. Everybody gonna be trying to suck milk from the same tit. I also do think if Donald Trump didn't win that election, I think a lot of daggone domestic terrorisms or terrorists were going to turn up in this country. They still might. And it's real interesting because I live in the rural South. I don't live in Atlanta. I live in the rural South, out here by the University of Georgia. A lot of folks calmed down after he won the election. I said, well, goddamn, that's all they wanted. Rails Rants Reloaded. We're going to have a long 4 years to go through. You know, hopefully we don't go through no war or recession. I want to see how many millionaires are created in this Trump administration for the second time. Because it surely wasn't any daggone in the first time. But we can also blame that on COVID. But with COVID, a lot of people lost jobs. Oh, one more thing. Like I said, I was talking to a person that I know, and I'm saying, look, you talk about immigration and Mexicans. You need immigrants. The United States will always need immigrants. Who's going to work the jobs? And I asked him, I said, and I'm not trying to be derogatory. I say, would you go up on top of a house and build a house? Work all these hard construction jobs? They said, hell no. See, the smart people think with logic and not emotion. You got people that want to work. I need to create a job for them and create wealth. Because when COVID hit, all these people that got these loans and the money men that started buying up all the properties, it's real funny. I was riding around town and they was building a house. And on that house, on the side of that house, big old American flag. America, make America great again. We're going to rebuild this country. You know who was building them goddamn houses? Mexicans. The house next to mine, a tree just went through it maybe about 4 months ago. You know who's fixing that roof and rebuilding it so it could be rented back out? Mexicans. I don't see no white folks. I don't see no black folks, Asians. And Hispanics, you know what? The Hispanic men, there are a lot of Hispanic women are upset with y'all because y'all, they showed the numbers. They showed who voted for who. And now this is what we gonna get. Rails Rants Reloaded. Like, subscribe, share. We're gonna try to keep this this going. We're not gonna try to, we're gonna keep it going. Help support the channel. There's gonna be links in the descriptions of everything I use in order to create this content. Even the Magneto helmet. Magneto is my video gaming name. But that link will be down there too if you play Call of Duty. Have a good New Year's. We see you in 2025. Peace.